Yeah, this morning's starting off great. I totally spaced on my mastermind meeting at 9 o'clock. Gotta get the coffee. And I have to find the cooler to put outside for the CSA. Good morning. Okay, so after totally spacing on my poor mastermind partner, I had a good mastermind. I was just 20 minutes late showing up. I suppose Vlogmas and all that it entails has thrown a wrench into my regular schedule for sure. Other than that, I'm feeling really good about today. I managed to get done half of that business planner. The first half is assessing your 2017, and I was worried about that, but that actually went really fast. I was way clearer about how 2017 went down than I thought. So we'll see how assessing what I want to do for next year is, because I still feel that Urban GypZ's a little rudderless, but it's kind of coming together. So we'll see what happens. So I'm taking a break from that to finish out today's vlog, and do the editing for what you guys will see tomorrow. And that's it. And I guess it's just as well, because let me tell you, they've been using the leaf blower out back all freaking day long. So at least that underlying hum won't be there. All you can hear is just traffic, like there's a truck that just went by. Other than that, I also made some sort of decisions about the warp for the dolls with the woven dresses. I need to figure out what I'm calling them. I want to call them the Me Too dolls, but maybe that's too intense. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. So I'm just going to call them the wall dolls for right now. The wall dolls. Dolls on the wall. That gives me visions of hipster art. Attaching an old doll to the wall with a rusty nail and calling it art. This is not that. This is totally not that. Oh, okay, I digress. So I made some decisions about that warp. In my sketch, I had 3 sketched out, and I have a feeling that there's going to be more than just 3. Actually, maybe I hope that there'll be more than just 3, but there's 3 definitive ideas that I have. And one of them I'm going to start with is that the first one with the red down at the bottom, and I have a bunch of hand-spun red yarn that I want to use for that. But for the warp, I'm going to keep it relatively simple. I think I'm going to use... There it goes. Yeah, I have this. I couldn't even tell you what it is, because let me tell you, half of my weaving yarns come from the mill-in table at Earth Guild. So I've got a ton of yarn like this on cones, this old mill-in stuff, but I live in North Carolina, where they closed down a bunch of mills in the last 20 to 30 years, so I have access to all kinds of stuff. This yarn that I'm going to use just for the warp, and it's interesting because that's a totally different direction from what I have been doing, where I take a lot of my remnant sock yarns and some novelty yarns and make a mixed warp with that. I'm not going to do that for this one. This one I'm just going to do this plain warp. It's a nice neutral color. Most of the weaving body's gonna be, maybe I'll make it gray. I do have a bunch of grayish yarn. It'll be a test. So maybe I'll do double the warp and make 2 of the dresses and see which one I prefer, and maybe end up using them both but on different clay bodies. But I'm going to use this yarn for 1 or 2 of the dresses. And then I have this. This is a collection of fibers that all work together that I bought from Deborah of Picasso Moon when we were in Taos together. So I don't know if you can, there we go, focusing. You can see how this is a mix of different types of yarn, but they're all in this white and off-white color. So what I'm going to do, I thought about using this for the warp for the wedding dress one, but I tell you, the length of the dresses is not going to be that long, and I'm afraid that I'm not going to get all the textures that I want to see if I use this for the warp, because I don't think I'm going to get the long enough run to be able to see all of the yarns in this. So I might save this and use this for the weft, for the white stuff, and then at the very bottom use that lace that I showed you in the other video. And this is kind of a grayish off-white shiny with a little bit of a slub. Again, this is a mill-in that came from, does it even say? Earth-Guild. Of course it came from Earth-Guild. They all come from Earth-Guild. Anyway, so I'm going to use this for the warp for that wedding dress piece. And there's a third one that is a multicolored one, and I might just go with my classic, using the remnant sock yarns with some other novelty yarns for that one. And that's the one that I'm going to have the buttons on. And I'm probably going to try and warp those, if not this weekend, then early next week. I'll start warping the little loom for those pieces. Tomorrow's a clay day, and I'm going to work on the prototypes. I'm definitely going to clay tomorrow. My buddy Kathy and I have a girlfriend clay date at this art center tomorrow, so I'm going to be there nice and early, and I'm going to work on these pieces. I also wanted to talk really quick. I mentioned that this annual assessing has been really helpful in growing my business. And of course, I definitely this year want to make sure that I actually schedule in time to reassess during the year. So I'm thinking quarterly would be good. I want to say monthly, but maybe monthly is not necessary. No, I think quarterly's it. So I'm going to say quarterly and assess where I'm at and relook at those workbooks. Or maybe monthly and make out monthly plans. Okay, I'm not going to decide how often until I go through the second part of that workbook, because I think once I see what kind of projects I have in store for next year, then maybe that'll help me decide how often I need to assess. But I definitely need to assess, at the very least quarterly, at the most monthly. There, I said it. The workbooks, the reason why I like the workbooks is because not only do you set out your goals, but then you keep stepping down what you need to do to get to your goals. So you might have a bunch of different projects to help you reach your goal, and from those projects you can whittle it down into steps, and those steps you can whittle it down into tasks, and those are actionable. You just keep whittling down what you need to do until you get actionable tasks. That's been really, really, really helpful, is to plan things out that way. It never goes according to plan. I always end up changing plans and changing tasks and changing directions, but you know what? It's all forward movement. So and that's what's important, because sometimes when you get in the middle of doing those tasks or those projects, when you see that it's just not serving your higher purpose, then it's okay to cut loose. The other thing that I mentioned earlier today is that I had a mastermind meeting. This is something else that's been really super important to help grow your business, is to find an accountability partner. That's been a biggie. And I have to say that over the summer I didn't really have an accountability partner, because the two people that I had been doing accountability with One of them was a fellow Yarny person, my friend Gail, and she was really busy getting her stuff ready for shows. On top of the fact that I went to convention in June. We didn't do a lot of masterminding in, through the end of the summer and last fall. My other mastermind friend, Dean, was hiking the Appalachian Trail. She was knocking that off her bucket list. So since she's been back, we've been back into doing our mastermind and looking at our businesses and talking weekly about plans and bouncing ideas off each other and holding each other accountable to tasks that we have for the week. So that's been really important too, because sometimes when you're working by yourself, it's really easy to get this tunnel vision about what you should do or what you can do. A lot of times it's really good to bounce ideas off of somebody else. You know, even if you're going in a really good direction, that sometimes, you know, one of my, either Dean or Gail will mention something that can take even a good idea and kick it up a notch, because they can see things from the outside, and they've known me for a while and they've known my business for a while. So looking from the outside, a lot of times they can see things that I don't necessarily see. My ideas really take form when I can bounce them off somebody else and get some feedback and have somebody to help brainstorm those ideas, because then you kind of end up, you know, layering idea after idea after idea after idea, and you can take one idea and take it to the next level by bouncing some brainstorming those ideas together with other people. And that's been so helpful. That's why masterminds are really important. I'm going to get to work. I've got to edit these videos, and then I'm going to tackle part 2, so tomorrow I can relax and be at the studio and get some work done before I have to come back and edit video footage from today. So have a good day. Thanks for watching, Viberistas. Talk to you soon.